Titleist has just released for 2025 the updated versions of the Pro V1 and the Pro V1x, the most played balls in golf, which means this video, which is going to explain all the different features and benefits of the 2025 version and how they're different from the 2023 Pro V1 and Pro V1x, this video might be one of the most important ones you see all year. So when I say to you that the Pro V1 and the Pro V1x are the most played balls in golf, when you break down the numbers, it actually gets pretty staggering. On any given week on the PGA Tour, while the number may fluctuate a little bit, about 70% of the players in the field will be using either a Pro V1 or a Pro V1x. And when you get into other elite tours, the numbers go nothing but higher. On the DP World Tour, it goes up to 74%. On the LPGA, we're talking 76%. There were 79% of the players in the field at the U.S. Junior Amateur who used either a Pro V1 or Pro V1x, 84% at the U.S. Am and the U.S. Women's Am, and 89% at the NCAA Men's Division I Championship. 92% of the players in the field at the NCAA Women's Championship used either a Pro V1 or a Pro V1x. So as you can see, among elite players, the Titleist Pro V1 and the Pro V1x are dominant. So understanding those numbers, if you're looking for radical changes, or if you think that Titleist might all of a sudden come out with a completely different golf ball when it comes to Pro V1 for 2025, you'd be absolutely wrong. That is pretty much the definition of golden handcuffs. If anything, Titleist is looking to refine and hone, to fine-tune Pro V1 and Pro V1x, not make radical changes, because at the elite level, there's certainly just too many players who really like and prefer and use Pro V1 and Pro V1x. And the numbers at retail have remained really strong as well. So there's not a lot of motivation for Titleist to make big changes to Pro V1 and Pro V1x. Okay, so knowing that, let me explain to you what Titleist is attempting to do, or what the goals were for the 25 Pro V1 and Pro V1x. Off the tee, the Pro V1 and Pro V1x for 2025 are going to behave very similar to the 2023 version. There's not going to be a big change in terms of ball speed, spin rate, launch angle. The biggest change is going to be from the fairway with your irons. Titleist tried to go ahead and increase the spin that players are going to get with their irons, while at the same time maintaining, again, the elite levels of spin that players are going to get around the greens and on approach shots. Now, why would Titleist go ahead and do that? Well, a lot of players, both at the elite level as well as at recreational level, are playing with lower and lower spin products. Drivers are low spin. We're seeing lower spin and stronger lofted irons being put into play. You're getting these hollow body construction, very fast, better player distance irons. Everything for the most part is low spin. And what happens with that is that for elite players, if you've got low spin products and a low spin ball, then it gets very challenging and very difficult to work the ball around the golf course, to hit draws and fades, to be able to hit shots higher on command. Generally speaking, the more spin that a really good player has at their disposal with their golf ball, the better. It's easier to take spin off of a golf ball than to really try and goose it and add a lot of spin, which is why many elite players go with a more spinny golf ball than I think a lot of people understand. For recreational golfers, again, spin can mean lift, especially when you get to moderate and lower clubhead speed players. You need to have enough spin to get lift to maximize out your carry distance. If your golf ball doesn't spin very much, and unfortunately, if you're not fit into proper equipment, especially with your irons, you end up hitting these lower trajectory shots that come off hot, but then they won't stop. For more lift, that is going to create a steeper angle of descent, and that spin characteristic is going to end up with better distance control for recreational players. So as you can see, finding the right blend of spin to match your swing, to match the equipment you use and the demands that you're going to have, that's critical. And Titleist felt that it really wasn't doing that as well as it could. It was listening to players, and what they were asking for is more spin with the irons. So with the 2025 Pro V1 and Pro V1x, that's what Titleist is trying to deliver. So let's get into the golf balls themselves. The Pro V1 for 2025 is still going to be a three-piece construction. You can see there's a very large rubber core surrounded by a casing layer or a mantle layer, and then a very thin cast urethane cover on the outside. Now, Titleist doesn't really talk a lot about compression. It's one of the things that the brand actually shies away from. But this is going to be a slightly firmer Pro V1 than the 2023 Pro V1. So you're going to feel that just a little bit if you do a side-to-side comparison. And that's something that I would strongly encourage you to do. That is going to be one of the keys to being able to get more spin from the iron. By making the gradient core here just a little bit firmer on the outside. And by gradient core, I mean that the inner portion of the core is going to be soft, and as you move to the outer portions of the perimeter of the core, The golf ball gets firmer. By making it a little bit firmer towards the outside, you're able to get a little bit more spin with the irons than you did with the 2023 version. Now, if we move to the 4-piece Pro V1X, you again have now a dual core system. You can see there's a large inner core, and then that's encased in an outer core. It's very rare. We don't see a lot of 2-core systems in golf balls, but Pro V1X is going to be one of them. Those 2 layers then have another casing layer or a mantle layer around them. And then the 4th piece is going to be, again, the cast urethane cover that's going to help to provide a lot more greenside spin. This ball, again, slightly firmer than its predecessor, the 23 Pro V1X. This ball is going to give you, again, more spin with the irons, and that is by design. Now, when you compare these 2 golf balls against each other, Pro V1 has a lower compression, is going to feel softer, is going to fly a little bit lower, is going to spin a little bit less than Pro V1X. Pro V1X flies a little bit higher, feels a little bit firmer, spins more everywhere. So in greenside spin, Pro V1X is going to spin more than Pro V1. From the fairway with your irons, Pro V1X will create a little bit more spin, create a little bit higher launch because of that. We'll have that firmer feel. And again, off the tee, Pro V1X is going to go a little bit higher and be a little bit spinnier. According to Titleist, they're both going to go about the same distance, but they're going to get there in a little bit different manner. The Pro V1 is going to have a slightly lower trajectory, so you're going to get a little bit more roll in the fairway with Pro V1. Pro V1X is going to have a little bit more carry distance, but because the ball is going to come down a little bit steeper, again, it goes higher, you're going to get a little less carry. So the balls are going to go, according to Titleist, virtually the same distance. It's just you're going to get more roll and a lower flight with Pro V1, a little less roll, but more carry distance with Pro V1X. Cosmetically, once again, the golf balls are going to be discernible because of the color of the number. Pro V1 is going to have a black number. Pro V1X is going to have a red number. So which of these golf balls would I recommend that you play? This is the hard part. It is absolutely impossible for me in a video format like this to tell you definitively that you should be playing either the Pro V1 or the Pro V1X. You got to get out there and do the dirty work. You need to go ahead and test these golf balls to find out which one of them might be best suited for you. And the way that you go about doing that is actually very important. Your methodology of finding out which one of these golf balls is best for you is really important. Go ahead and just buy one sleeve of these golf balls. And so you're going to have 6 total. Hit a series of shots. Start around the green. Chip shots, pitch shots, bunker shots, short approach shots, things, all of your wedges. Hit a variety of those types of shots. See if one sounds better, feels better. Is there a preference? Do you notice a little bit better performance for you in your conditions with your swing? One versus the other. That's going to be a really telling thing. Then move back into the fairway and hit a series of shots, again, with your irons. If you've got some old Pro V1s and Pro V1Xs, the 23 version, see what you notice. You're not going to be able to find those 23 golf balls in stores for much longer. Stores and golf specialty stores are going to run through their allotted inventory, maybe at a discount for the first quarter of 2025. But then when they're gone, and everyone who buys them new at retail is going to be buying the 2025 version. See if you notice if one ball suits your game better with your irons. Only then do you go back to the tee. These golf balls are going to perform much more similarly from the tee than they will from around the green. Again, if you're somebody who puts more emphasis on greenside spin, if getting really good wedge spin is just ultra critical for you, then you're probably going to want to start testing with Pro V1X. If you're somebody who's looking for a little bit softer feel and you need to reduce spin, you're looking for either a lower flight or just a lower spinning condition overall, you're probably going to want to start your testing with Pro V1 because I would guess that's going to be the ball that would best fit you. You can certainly go and test out other balls in this, but I would think that testing 2 or 3 balls against each other in any one test is the most. You can become desensitized in golf ball testing really, really easily. If you have access to something like TrackMan or Foresight or some type of a launch monitor that you trust the data on, even better. I mean, to be able to get real spin numbers and real data on your testing is fantastic. But for a lot of people out there, that's just simply not the case. But you can afford to buy one 3-ball pack of a Pro V1X and one 3-ball pack of a Pro V1 to go ahead and find out which one of these two golf balls is going to be best for your game. And I can't recommend you do that enough. So that's just about everything I think that you're going to need to know about the 2025 version of the Pro V1 and the Pro V1x. But if you have more questions, please drop them in the comment area below. I'm more than happy to answer any type of golf ball questions you have, how the different Titleist golf balls relate to one another, how the Titleist golf balls may be compared to some other offerings from brands that are out there. I'm happy to try and help you out. I do try and keep a good eye on my comment section and answer as many comments and questions as I can. So feel free to drop me anything you like. It would also, if you felt like you got some good information on this video, be super helpful for me if you would smash that like button as well as subscribe to my channel. It helps me out tremendously. Thanks a lot, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon.